man. Alright. I don't even know if this is gonna come out on time. This might not even come out until it's already 2024. It depends entirely on whether or not I get enough solid internet in the next, 4 days to upload this. So I don't know if it's gonna be on time or if it's gonna be late or what, so I guess we're gonna see, huh? Hi. Hello. How are you? It was 2023 this year. That's crazy. That's a lot. That's a big number. That's, I think, too many years. Um, I was taking notes, this one, I swear. I don't know if I just, blanked and forgot to write them down most of the time, or if genuinely nothing exciting happened, and I think, honestly, it's a little bit of both. But I think I got most of what happened, other than little bits here and there, so, yeah. What I do know is that I went bonkers for fucking yonkers over the Umbrella Academy. That's the big thing this year. 2023, I watched the Umbrella Academy. I went a little bit insane. I'm going to go feral when season 4 drops and it's over. I'm going to go insane. It's going to be the end of me. All of my marbles are going to be on the ground, as though they weren't already. Like, I went batshit to the insane where I wrote over 100,000 words on a fan fiction, because I do that. Fun fact about me, I write things for media that I go bonkers over. Yeah, I am insane over this. It has been in the forefront of my entire mind. I have not thought about anything else other than the Umbrella Academy for a long time. I watched it 5 times. I forced all my friends to watch it. I am crazy. Anyway, I started the writing in April, early April, according to the insanity that I've been dumping when I use my friends as bounce boards for plot points. They don't even really participate in that. They're just there. I just spew into their DMs and then say thanks, I know what I'm doing now. Yeah, in the span of April to November, I wrote 100,000 words, and that is insane. That is crazy. I have never hyperfixated on writing anything to this degree before. Ever. In my life. Not even my own characters for my own story that I've been coming up with since I was 12. I don't even have 100,000 words for that. So this is, I need to be medicated, and I think perhaps I need to be, like, institutionalized. I think it's a little bit much. Anyway, speaking of hyperfixating, I started you might remember, I started The Wings of Fire last year, and this year I am up to book 12, I think, is where I'm at. And I gotta say, for a series about silly little dragons that's aimed for 9-year-olds, that's some good books. I'm genuinely having a great time. I'm enjoying it. I may or may not have gone a little crazy making my own little guys and coming up with my own headcanons for how the world works in my own little AU, and then subsequently getting most of my friend group into the books as well. 3 of them listen to the audiobooks. 2 of them, I am reading the books to them verbally with my mouth over Discord. And it's a great time. It's such a good time. I have too many dragons now. And that's not a problem I had before, but it's a problem that I'm okay with having now. Maybe I even wrote a few little stories about them. Maybe I set up a little roleplay server with them. Who's to say? I don't know. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. You'll never know. That's crazy. Speaking of roleplay, sometime early in the year, and fuck me if I remember when exactly, I joined up with an in-person D&D group at a semi-relatively local game store, and oh my god. I forgot how fun it is to play D&D around a table and not just digitally over like Foundry or Roll20. I can use my 20 sets of dice again. I went crazy, and I fleshed out my Corvid-themed murder guild enough to have 5 different characters that I can use for the every other week one-shots. I get to play Corvo, my beloved Glacia Tiefling Psyknife Rogue, every other Saturday. Corvin, who is different from Corvo, has survived boss fights purely due to wackadoo perfect wild magic timings on no less than 3 separate occasions. It's delightful. I'm having such a good time. I love D&D. I like playing D&D. I don't like hosting D&D. Hosting D&D, at least for me, I'm not very good at coming up with adventures on my own. So I, rely very heavily on the pre-written modules, and they're all shit. I'm discovering every single one of them. All of them. Even that one. Yeah. Like, there's just not enough meat. There's a pretty decent skeleton, but no meat, and that's bad because I'm not good at cooking meat. Pretty good at coming up with skeletons, though. So yeah, for those days when I go out and play, I've been bringing my sketchbook, and I picked up traditional drawing instead of just digital, which is crazy. This has been just a crazy and insane and wild are adjectives that I have used a lot this year, because I feel like for most of it, from April to November, I lost my mind. Sometime in between seasons 2 and 3 of Umbrella Academy, when I was watching it in February, I lost my mind. I don't know where it went. I was talking to my therapist and I went, dude, I feel like I've gone insane. Like, I don't know what I need to be. I need to be medicated. I need something, but I've just gone batshit. I've gone batshit bonkers, cuckoo crazy. And she looked at me and went, but are you having a good time? And I said, oh yeah, I'm having a good time. And then I was having this conversation with my therapist, and fuck it, this is a side tangent, but you're gonna hear it anyway, because this was a defining, like, critical moment of 2023 for me, okay? I was maybe 50k words deep on this fanfic, and I was talking to my therapist about how, it's about this show that I'm watching, and I love this one character so much. His name is Klaus Hargreaves, and he's my favorite. He's my little Blorbobingus, and I would die for him. And, I just see, I relate to him a lot, and whatever. And then I go, it's the show is Umbrella Academy. Maybe you've heard of it. And she said, oh my goodness, I do. I love that show. And I said, oh my fucking God, why didn't you tell me before I told you my favorite character that I relate to the most is Klaus fucking Hargreaves? Why didn't you tell me that? Really, it was a Tumblr 2012 moment, in the best, worst possible way. I was perceived, and I didn't like that very much. But it's fine, it's fine. We love therapists, we love therapy. We love being assigned the homework of, hey, maybe you should, like, look at the characters that you relate to, and maybe you should, like, do some self-reflection on why. And I said, oh, honey, I know why. I don't need to do any reflection. I'm just whacked in the head. She said, okay. It was great. Speaking of April, good tangent. Tangent? Yeah, good segue there. I got my partner to come out in April. That was lovely. Early April. Lovely as always. We hung out and we went to a Longhorn, and I got the Longhorn, and the waiter looked at me and said, are you aware that is like 20 ounces of steak, 20 something ounces of steak? And I said, yes, sir, I am fully aware of that. And he said, okay, right away. And that steak arrived on the table, and I blacked out, and I woke up, and it was gone. And then I was like, okay, cool. I'm taking the bone home with me, because this is my favorite enrichment, is call me whatever you like. You can't, I've already won. Gnawing on the bone of a steak is the best thing, and I'll die on this hill. You cannot remove me from it. So then we get home, and I pull the bone out of the box, and I black out again. I go into a fucking haze. And then I wake up, and there's steak all over my face, and the bone is clean. It's crazy. I love steak. I don't get enough. Yeah, other than eating a big ass steak, we mostly just hung out at my place because spring has a gazillion bees and other stinging insects, and I hate all of them. Like, I understand that bees play an important role in our ecosystem. I almost said economy. They play an important role in our ecosystem, and I can't fault them for that, but I can fault them for smelling my fear and coming at me sideways. And especially I can fault them for not liking it when I freak out and go, whoa, a bee! And then they go, whoa, sting, sting! And then nobody's happy. Nobody's happy. It's a bad time for all of us. In September, moving along, I started rewatching Criminal Minds for the third time, and I've never actually watched it all the way to the proper end of season, 15? 16? How many did it get? I almost said too many. Not enough. It didn't get enough seasons. More, please. Those are my comfort blorbos. That's my emotional support crime show. And I've never watched it all the way to the proper end because every time that I watched it in the past, it was still actively coming out. So I would get to the most recently released season, and I'd go, okay, there's no more. Frowny face. Guess I'll have to wait. And then I forget about it for years. And then, oh, there's more seasons. Wow. And now it's done, and I'm on season 13, and I've not seen anything past, like, the midpoint of season 12. And oh my god, they need to give Spencer Reid a break. Let that man have a nap, for fuck's sake. He's gone through too much. Please. Please, God, I hope he gets a nap soon. He deserves one. Jesus Christ. What the fuck else did I do? I don't know. Not a lot. I reorganized my books for the 1000th time. I actually, properly sorted them into categories based on whether or not I vaguely remember reading them, or if I know that I've read them, and if I definitely haven't read them. And if I include the earlier parts of series that I have partially read and would need to reread in order to finish, my to-be-read list is over 200 books, and that's not counting series, at least I think it's not counting series where I have, books 1 through 3, but I'm missing 4 and 5, I don't think I counted those books that I don't have. I think I only counted books that I do have. But I may have, unsure. 200 plus, perhaps even, is a lot of books, and I'm not mad about it. I'm actually really pleased because this is possibly the best problem to have. I got 3 more books for Christmas. I'm not complaining about this. This is a good problem. I love having it. I like reading books. I've decided I didn't for so long. I did, and then I didn't, and now I do again. Paper. What? Yeah. Currently, I am reading The Love Hypothesis, the 12th book of the Wings of Fire, and the second... Wow, that's a really good fucking note that you took there, Chief. Great. The second in the Pillage trilogy, by insert author here, called Ambush. At least I think, yeah. Ambush is the second, and Choke is the third? I think? I don't know. Yeah, I'm reading the second one, whichever the second one is. It's good. I am exclusively reading The Love Hypothesis because I heard it used to be Reylo fanfic that got published. And I don't even like Reylo or Star Wars. I just think it's neat that it's fanfiction that got published. And also it's, fake dating. And as a treat, I allow myself to indulge in a fake dating relationship every once in a while. It's only my favorite trope. I'm a very simple man, okay? Put 2 idiots in a situation where they fall in love, but they have to pretend that they're not, but because they're pretending that they are. And hell, fuck it. Give them just 1 bed. It's a treat, they don't need 2. They can have 1. It's great. It's fine. It's cool. I just think it's neat. Skipping right along ahead to November, I picked up a dormant knitting project that I have been working on and off on for the last 10 years, and I'm not kidding when I say that. I was 16 when I started this scarf, and I'm almost 26 now. Oh my god. And I've picked it back up again, and I've just started fucking going. It's something to keep my hands busy while I'm watching Criminal Minds. 1 episode a day, 2 episodes a day sometimes. And we're plugging along. It's coming along really great. I feel like if it's not, it should be, but I feel like it is a rite of passage for dweebs who knit to knit their own replica of the Fourth Doctor's scarf. You know? Do you feel me on that? Like, I feel like every nerd who watches Doctor Who and knits, every person in that overlap has at some point knit their own Fourth Doctor scarf. I am knitting my own Fourth Doctor scarf. That's what I'm doing. I have been knitting in perpetuity for 10 years, and it's not done. I am on the last stretch, the last third of it, I think, if I'm reading the pattern right. Heaven fucking help me if I'm not reading the pattern right. I don't care at this point. It is what it is. Yeah, this bad boy, Pat Scarf, has gone through 2 entire stitch shifts. Once when I learned how to purl and not just knit, and again when I learned how to make my knit stitches not twist. And I would care more about the visible differences if I gave a shit. But I am too busy being constantly amazed at how divine the whole process of creating makes me feel. Like, you're taking yarn, which is a whole thing in and of itself. It used to be a mass of acrylic, and let's not be generous and say, well, this is not the fancy shit I'm talking about. This are the $3 red heart acrylic skeins from Michaels. It's not wool. There's not a sheep has never even been near this bad boy. And I'm taking that and I am turning it into something else. And when I am knitting it, I have to stop every once in a while and I have to look at it and go, this would not exist if I wasn't making it. And I've been thinking that a lot when I'm looking at the things that I am making, and it makes me a lot more okay with the things that I make having flaws, because they wouldn't have flaws if I didn't make it. It exists, flaws and all, because I poured my time and my effort and my life into it. You know, like, this scarf is 10 years of my life. So I'm okay that it's a little bit janky in places. And that, you know, there's a ridge down the middle of it because I fucked up and I knit the wrong way. And then I realized it and I fixed it. And I'm okay that the end of it is super wide because I was really not good with my tension when I first started. And it's fine that it goes from a garter ridge to a fucked up stockinette to a proper stockinette. Because that's 10 years of experience, and that's 10 years of growth and learning and life in this fucking scarf. And that's cool. That's really cool. In sort of less cool news, my guinea pig, Oliver, got sick in the middle of November. And at first it seemed like it was just, you know, a cold, an upper respiratory infection. Not his blood sister, but you know how pets are. His sister, Dumpling, used to get those a lot when they were younger. But he stopped being able to get up on his own. So we rushed him extra fast to the vet, which was a whole rigmarole of its own, because apparently the 4 vets that had exotic doctors, none of those exotic doctors were available. They were all out of the office for the week. And it's like, what the fuck? Is there a exotic convention going on? Hello? Please, my man? He's dying? Help? We finally got him an appointment, and they diagnosed him as, yeah, he has a respiratory infection. He's also an old geriatric man with arthritis, which is why he's not getting up on his own anymore. And I said, oh, that's horrible. So he comes home with medication, and he comes home with medications, and he's not doing great for like the 2 weeks that he had his prescription for the Medicam, which is a pain medication. I think that's the pain medication that might be the antibiotic. I don't fucking know. I don't know, man. I think it's Medicam is the pain. It's fine. Whatever. So yeah, he for the solid 2 weeks, I thought that this was it. This was the end of him. I was going to have one guinea pig. It's going to be Dumpling, my baby boy, old arthritic geriatric baby boy, is at a matter where it's quality of life over quantity of life, and oh god, I don't want to have to make this choice right now. And then, you know, he ran out of Medicam and we got him a script for Tramadol, and he pulled a 180 and was fine again. So that's, you know, that's animals. That's guinea pigs for you, baby. You think this is it, this is the end, and then he just needs a better pain medicine, and now he's fine. He's chill. What's he doing right now? He is lounging on a pillow in his cage, in his fancy little castle that he has, napping. Like the spoiled old man that he is. I love him. I would stop the world for him. I would blow up the moon for Oliver. And if this wasn't stressful enough at the time, we were on 2 time limits. We were on time limit A. When is his pain too much? Like, when does his pain outweigh, like, the life that he has left? Time limit B, me and my mother are supposed to be leaving the country on the 3rd of December to go on a European river tour. The one that I talked about last year? 2 years ago? God, I don't fucking know. It was one of them. That got canceled because of the plague. I think that was 2 years ago. I don't know. So, like, I didn't want to leave him alone with the pet sitter if he's gonna be all precarious, not eating and drinking and needing to be bathed every day, twice a day, to make sure that he's clean and not sitting in his own piss. Ooh. But then he got better and he drank, he ate, he's taking his medicine fine, and he's chill. So we got to go. That was cool. It was neat. We missed the first 2 stops on the tour because the Danube was too high, and they kept closing the ports, and the boat had to skedaddle before it got stuck in those closed ports because it snowed, and that was too much for the river. It said, no, I don't want to fucking deal with this. I'm going to overflow the banks. Before we got on the boat, though, we stopped in Rome for a week. I think it was a week, a little under a week. That was neato. I got to go see the Colosseum, the underguts of the Colosseum, the Pantheon, which I was sort of excited for more than I should have been, because I was thinking of the Parthenon, which is not the Pantheon. These are 2 different buildings, and one of them is distinctly less exciting than the other. It had a big hole, lots of, it's not really a pantheon if pantheon is like a gathering, a group of gods, and there was just one in there, so, could have been cooler, could have been the Parthenon, but it was alright, it was pretty cool. And we also got to go see a cathedral that had a crypt that was encrusted with bones, human bones, like all decoratively and shit, and that was kind of crazy, because people had to do that. People had to, with their hands, fasten those bones to the ceiling in the shape of a butterfly, and a big clock, and a reaper with a scythe, also made out of human bones. And that's a little bit crazy to me. They had a preserved human heart in the wall. I don't remember what this place was called, and currently I don't have the internet to Google it, so I don't know. I would put a picture of it up, but they didn't allow you to take any pictures. So it was a cathedral and there were bones in it, man. I don't know what to fucking tell you. It was cool as hell. Oh shit, wait, I have a button. La Cripta dei Cappuccini, Roma. If you know Italian, that's probably butchered. Bad accent. Anyway, that was really cool. After Rome, we went to Prague. Prague was my favorite. We saw some churches, and I didn't burst into flame going inside of them. We saw a big-ass astrological clock that we kept getting to either too early or too late to watch it go off. There was an entire museum about communism. I got a chimney cake, which is like a spiral of dough, fried dough, and then they slather the inside with Nutella, and it's hot, and it's got sugar on the outside, and it's so good, and I only had one, and I wanted about 50, because they made them in a cone shape as well, so like you could put ice cream in it, like a crepe, but thicker and sweeter. Oh my god. I would kill for a chimney cake, again. Jesus Christ. That shit was good. There's not a lot to say about the tour itself. We spent a lot of time on buses being carted back and forth to walking tours, and those were really cool when we got to go on the old person walking tour, and not the one where the guide was like fucking sprinting down the road and we had to run to catch up with him. I'm not the most legged individual, you know, I'm not, big on sprinting down cobbled streets to keep up with the guide. So we went on the old people walking tours and just meandered around with the old folks, and that was pretty chill. We did, notably, most importantly, I think, upon the whole tour, is that we got to go to Slovakia. We got to go to Bratislava in Slovakia. And this is critical information. This is very important to me because my family, half of it, is from Slovakia. And so I've always wanted to go, and we haven't gone in any of the river tours that we've gone on before. We've always, we've hit the Czech Republic. Is it still the Czech Republic? I think so. I think that's what it is properly, and not just Czech. Anyway, irrelevant. I don't care. We've been to Czech, and that's close. That's neighbor, but that's not Slovakia. And while we were in Bratislava, we got to get authentic street halushki, which my grandmother has a recipe for halushki, and I've wanted to have it properly, like authentic halushki, for a very long time. And oh my god, it was so good. It's like a gnocchi. It's a potato dumpling, but it's mixed with like a sheep cheese, and they load big chunks of bacon on top, and it's hot. And when you're outside and it's 40 degrees, and a man hands you a bowl of halushki, and it's hot and steaming, and the bacon is so good, oh my god, I could have cried in the streets. Holy shit. Delicious. We went back for a second bowl. We were just gonna share one, and I was like, no. If you want some, you gotta get your own. Get out of here. Shoot. That was sick. Did we get anything else interesting? I found after the boat tour, they left us in Budapest, in Hungary, and we had a couple days there before our flight from Budapest to Rome, and then Rome to home, America. And in Budapest, we went to a Christmas market, and the Christmas markets had been so disappointing because all of them were either food, hot wine, or tourist souvenirs that you could turn around and get for cheaper at like the tourist shops, and none of like the handmade, more like cultural things that they had in years prior. But when we were in Budapest, there was one stall, my favorite stall, that had books, stationery, journals. And I wandered up because I wanted to pick some up for my friends for Christmas. And they were so cool. And I was looking at them, and they're handmade by hand. A human hand made these. I'm holding one. And it's gorgeous. It's got a leather spine and a ribbon, and they came in like, I'm shilling, by the way, non-spawn. Go to, what's the fucking website? Go to bomoart.com and just look at these things. That's BOMOART.com by hand. Somebody made this by hand. They have 48 different designs that you can get, 6 different colors of the leather. You can get it embossed with your own personal fucking embossing. And did I mention it's made by hand? I'm gonna stop shilling for them. They're Hungarian, they're made by hand, it's cool as fuck. That's crazy. Anyway, that aside, like I said, this year I've kind of just been losing my entire goddamn mind, and I don't know where it went, and I don't know if I'd like it back, because this is also the most, like, creative, this is the most creative I've been in so many years. It's, like, crazy. It's crazy. I'm crazy. I've gone insane. So after Budapest, we got home. It was 3 weeks away. God, I've never been happier to see my bed in my life. The pigs are fine. They're babying right now. I don't know where Dumpling is. Dumpling has kicked him off his pillow, and he's sad about that, but they're both napping. Christmas was okay. Christmas was nice. We didn't get, like, a tree or decorations or a big Christmas dinner like we normally do because we got home on, like, the 23rd, and then it was Christmas Eve. No, we got home on, like, the 22nd, I think? And then it was Christmas Adam, and then it was Christmas Eve, and then it was Christmas. And now it's the 28th because I've been recording for a half hour and it's ticked over to the next day. Yeah, I got the books that I mentioned. I got Princess Jellyfish on DVD, some sick-ass socks, a crochet axolotl kit. The guinea pigs got a 12 Days of Christmas, like, Advent snack box, and they love it so much. They love the little snackies. Good shit. And I think that's it. I've been talking for a half hour. I don't know that I have anything else to talk about. Did I talk about the channel at all? No? Spiritfarer, Bioshock, Unheard. Oh, Unheard was great. If I had to say, game of the year that I played this year, probably Spiritfarer. That game was so good. Unheard is a very, very close second. Just because there's not a whole lot of replayability to it, but Spiritfarer is like, you can go back and cry when Uncle Atul fucking disappears on your ass and doesn't say goodbye. Yeah. Next year, I don't fucking know what I'm gonna be playing. Games. Fuck, I hope. But I got a couple things lined up. I got a couple things in the wings lined up that I'm planning on doing, so we'll see. You'll see. We'll both see, actually. Isn't that delightful, the way that we're both gonna see what happens, and neither of us is gonna know what's gonna happen until it happens? I don't think anything crazy is gonna happen in the next 3 days, but if it does, I guess I'll put it maybe, I don't know, in the description, because I'm not gonna edit this and put anything else in it. I'm not going to do that. That is too much work. Alright, next year, 2024. I don't know what the fuck is gonna happen. I hope it's not gonna kick my ass too hard. Hopefully I'll take better notes this time around. Maybe I'll, do that. Maybe I'll actually get a note for every month. Maybe that'll be my resolution this year. I would like to make at least one note of something that happened every month for next year's recap. I'm gonna let you get on with your day, and I'm gonna let you have a good end of your year. And I hope that this year has been good to you. I hope that next year is better to you. I hope that next year is better to both of us, to all of us. Every single one of us, actually, every person. Anyway, I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. I thank you for sticking around with me for 2023, and I hope that you stick around with me for 2024. So, how do I end this?